Ever wondered what a day of teaching is like in Japan? Well, I'm about to show you, and it's a lot different than you might think. I'm about to leave the apartment. I'm all ready for school, all dressed up, tired a little bit. I'm ready to go, you know? So after getting fully ready, first I need to put my shoes on so I can get going. At the entrance of a house in Japan, this is where you take off and put on your shoes, is known as a genkan. And trash. Here I'm throwing out the trash. I'm throwing out the burnables today because it's Friday. Because on Friday, that's the day that you're supposed to throw out the burnables. You can see I'm walking at a brisk pace because I got up a little bit later, so I need to make sure that I get to the train on time. I get on my first train here with the Hanshin Tigers players plastered all over it. After a couple stops, I get off and then I get on a different train because the previous one doesn't stop at the station I want to get off at. Finally, I have the last push and then I just need to walk the rest of the way to school. On the way, there's some nice scenery, cherry blossom here, which has fully bloomed. When I arrive at school, I take off my outdoor shoes and put on my indoor shoes to enter the school. And then I also hang up my coat in my locker. And then, to my utmost surprise, on my desk, I find a present. Not just one present, but multiple of Hanshin Tigers merchandise. I talked to one of the other teachers the other day and I told him about how excited I was to go watch the Hanshin Tigers play. And he decided to get me a bunch of merchandise because he's been a fan for a very, very long time. Okay. Now it's time to talk about the work. Now, I can't show everything, but what I will try to do is give you as much information as I can on the day that I had and what I did. In comparison to Australia, I've started with a lot less classes, and on this day, I didn't have a class until later in the day. So I started by actually doing some Japanese learning. This site is called Manikani, which focuses on teaching and reviewing kanji. I highly recommend it, but you do have to pay a subscription fee after a certain point. After that, I then moved on to creating some resources for a lesson that I had in the future. One English lesson that we did that day was with Ninensei, and they were learning how to deliver speeches. So I listened to the speeches of the students and gave them feedback. The other class, which was Ichi-nensei were writing and asking questions in English to their classmates in order to improve their speaking and conversational skills. During the lunch break, I go to 7-Eleven. Here I picked up my absolute favorite, which is the spicy sandwich. But now they're gone. They only released them in April. Why? And I ate this cherry blossom themed food, which was The newsletter also came out and it showed this article which looked like it was from years ago of me, and the article was about my introduction to the school. At the end of the day, we have ESS Club, and we discussed plans for the cultural festival, otherwise known as Bunkasai, and open Pokemon cards. I managed to pull Sylveon EX full art, which I was very happy about. School ends after ESS Club for me at 5 p.m, which is a big difference to Australia, where school finishes for me at around 2:55 p.m. So I put on my shoes and I decided on the way back that I would actually head towards Koshien Stadium. Koshien Stadium is the home of the Hanshin Tigers, and I thought I would actually go get some more merch. I was stunned to see KFC was near the stadium. The Hanshin Tigers actually have a curse known as the Curse of the Colonel, but I'll talk about that later. I hopped back on the train and then went to the greatest shop for teachers. This is literally one of my favorite stores in Japan. It is called Loft. They literally have everything from amazing pens to markers to the classic campus notebooks. And even on the day, they had a Haikyuu pop-up, which is one of my favorite anime. Sometimes you just stumble upon awesome things in Japan. No idea why, but I'm glad it's here. I think the merchandise was promoting the movie, but I'm not sure. They had like shirts and team uniforms and pretty much everything with just Haikyuu and the characters on it. We won't talk about the cost of everything because it was a lot. I got heaps of Haikyuu merch and supplies from Loft. On my way home, I stopped to play some crane machines because I saw they had some interesting prizes. But I was most drawn to the Pokemon plush toys. I really wanted to get Cyndaquil, and as you could see in the other video that I made, I was successful in getting Cyndaquil. Last stop before heading home, I hit up one of my favorite ramen places and have a delicious dinner. And then that's it. The end of a day. Each day is always completely different in teaching, and that's why I love it so much. This was definitely a special one to me. I hope you learnt a bit about what a English teacher in Japan's day can be like.